I've got all the tools that I own for carpentry in this room with me right now, and I want to go through, have a look at every single tool, share my thoughts on it, and more importantly, I actually want to add up the combined value and see how much money these tools are worth. This is an insane collection with over 45 different batteries. We've got 17 nail guns and 8 different combo kits in front of me. All right, so we're just going to start at the front here with all the batteries, and we're going to slowly make our way through to the back. For the batteries, I've got pretty much every brand that you'd find on a work site. Starting on the right-hand side, we've got 4 Paslode batteries. We've got 2 Ryobi batteries. You probably won't find these on the work site, but they're from a video I did at the start of this year. So we've got 9 Hikoki batteries, 8 AEG batteries. We've actually got 13 DeWalt batteries in the middle here. And then for the front row here, I've got 4 Mitre 18 volt batteries. We've got 2 of the 40 volt batteries. We've got 3 Bosch, 2 Festool, and 4 Milwaukee, with that 4th one being one of the M12 batteries. And I got all these batteries in combo kits, so I'm not going to go through and work out how much they're worth by themselves, but we'll work out the price when we actually get to the tools and the combo kits that came with these batteries. So we're going to jump in now, we'll start with the combo kits, and we're going to start working out how much this is worth. Before I do that though, I do want to have a guess off the top of my head on the total worth of all these tools here. And I don't want to spend too much time trying to figure it out, but just having a quick look around at everything, I reckon I'm going to lock in $32,000 worth of tools in this room, which is an insane amount on tools. I'm looking around though, and the more I look around, the more expensive tools I'm seeing. We've got 4 Traxxas over there, we've got so many laser levels, 17 nail guns. There's a fair bit of worth in this room. So first up for the tools, we've got a few random Milwaukee tools sitting in the corner here. And these are all that are left from the first combo kit I ever bought, all the way back in 2017. I had a couple tools stolen, I know the saw broke me, and I eventually had to go and replace them and buy another combo kit. Since I've only got 3 tools left from this combo kit though, I'm not even going to add these to the value of every single tool I've got in the room. I'm just going to put those ones to the side, and we'll just jump on with the next combo kit. So right behind the Milwaukee tools is the first combo kit we're going to add to the tally. This is the DeWalt 8-piece combo kit, and this one costs $1,738. And you might actually remember this combo kit because it was part of a 2-part series I did last year. I did this big video where I bought 6 different combo kits around that $2,000 price tag, unboxed all of them, and then a separate video where I put all those tools head to head to find the best tool brand. It was quite fun making those 2 videos, but I've only got a few of those combo kits left in this collection right now. Next to those DeWalt tools, I've got myself my 40 volt Makita saw. So this saw cost me $479, and I bought it just by itself with no batteries. And I don't think I've ever said this before, but there's actually quite a funny story behind the saw. Before I was using the saw, I was running my DeWalt 54 volt saw. And what happened is one day, I'm not going to name who, but one of the blokes I was working with was on the roof, and I'm pretty sure he dropped my Paslode gun off the roof, and it landed on my DeWalt saw, and it ended up breaking the saw guard, so it was just loose. It wasn't the worst deal, but it was a bit annoying to work with, so I decided to go out and spend that $479 buying the saw. Fast forward about 6 months from that date, and that same person accidentally broke the saw guard from the saw as well. It was a complete mistake. They did offer to pay for it, but I just said don't worry about it. I honestly got enough saws that I can use anyway. But that was a funny story about buying the saw. I ended up getting a quick review out of it. I got to test it and get a feel for it, and I haven't really used it since then. All right, so moving across, I've got a Makita combo kit here. And this is from that same video as those DeWalt tools that I did about this time last year. We've got a 10-piece combo kit. This one was worth $19.99. And it was actually a good range of tools. The only thing this combo kit didn't have though was a circular saw. It does come with a renovator's tool and the jigsaw, but no circular saw. And now that I'm looking at it, a hammer drill would also be great in that combo kit. And sitting behind this combo kit, I've got one of the first tools I bought, which is my corded Makita saw. This is just a 185mm saw, and geez, I've got some good memories using this. Even though it was only 7 or 8 years ago when I started carpentry, you didn't see any cordless saws like this being used in the work sites. Everyone was still running the leads, and I'd be using the saw for everything. Even if I was up on the roof, you'd be running a lead onto the roof, and I'd be using this to cut trusses. I'm happy I've still got this. I honestly don't use it as much as I should, because even though these new 40 volt and 36 volt saws are so great, if you're doing so many cuts in one day, like cutting rafters or something, it still blows my mind how much more power these corded saws do have. And actually, this was the second power tool I bought for carpentry. It was meant to be the first, but I've actually got the first tool around the back here, and it might be a bit of an issue trying to walk around to get there. But here we go. This was the first power tool I bought for carpentry, the big 235mm saw. This cost around $235, I believe, when I bought it. And I actually made a mistake and I bought this big girl instead of that smaller circular saw because I was fresh, I had no idea what I was doing, and I got the wrong saw. Those ones are $99, but I remember being told on my first day that they're $99, or I could buy the more expensive one for about $230, which is heaps better and it should last longer. I had no idea what I was doing. I went to Bunnings and I saw the saws with the different price tags. I bought the wrong one and I ended up with this big saw, and I ended up with this big 235mm saw for the first ever power tool I bought. And I can tell you, after buying it as a first year apprentice, I don't think I touched the saw for quite a while, but in later years, it's actually become really handy. And I actually keep this one in my car most of the time to cut through post or any thicker material. While I'm stuck here amongst all these tools, I might actually have a look at these Hikoki power tools, which is probably the best combo kit I've ever bought. I spent $2,199, and I also bought these for that same big head-to-head video. And the reason that was so impressive is because some of these tools are Hikoki's 36 volt tools. When I bought them, I had no idea why they were so cheap, and I was a bit worried that they might break down over time. But I've been using these tools for about a year now. They're actually my favorite power tool brand at the moment that I've been using, and I've got nothing but good things to say about them. One thing I actually did after that big head-to-head video is I made 6 separate videos where I used every single combo kit for a day or several days to test them out. And for some of the brands like the DeWalt, Bosch and Milwaukee, I used them for that video and I don't think I used them again. But these Hikoki tools got tested for that one day and I don't think they left my toolbox since then. These are my preferred tools that I'm using on site now, and after this video, these are going straight back into my car. And the last combo kit that I still have from those series of videos is this all black limited edition AEG combo kit. This one also cost $19.99, and this was also a 10-piece combo kit. So on top of this 10-piece combo kit I've got here, I've also got a lot more AEG tools laying around, and all these other tools that we can see have been sent out to me or given to me for different reviews and ads that I've done for AEG. We've got a few things to cover, but to start with, I've got a 6-piece combo kit scattered around here in pieces. This is one that I got at the start of last year when I started doing a few reviews for them. That cost $12.99. And I think with that, the total value of these tools already has gone over 10 grand. And we haven't even gone to any of these 17 nail guns yet. So I'm actually a little bit worried that my guess of $32,000 could be on the lower side. I've just got my phone on me to double check the prices of a few of these tools. I've also got this 165mm saw, which got sent out to me. This thing costs $329. I've got AEG's planer, which I also got sent separately, and this comes at a price at $349. And I need to move a few things around just to get into this corner. But I've also got a drill and a driver from the subcompact combo kit, and I think that combo kit cost $489. And as I said earlier, I've also got myself another 6-piece combo kit, which I've got stored aside for another video I've got coming up in the future. And that comes at that same price of $12.99. And I've also just recently picked up these Azito tools, which are dirt cheap, and I'm going to be testing them out in a video coming up soon. There's an 8-piece combo kit, and that one costs $449. And then I also got the plunge saw above it, which I think could be a pretty cool tool, and that one costs $119. Obviously, I'm not expecting a lot out of these tools. It's just going to be a bit of a fun video coming up soon. And I actually did a very similar video at the start of this year with this Ryobi combo kit. This one cost $699, and I spent a week using Ryobi tools on site to see how they go. These are the cheap tools, these are all brush tools, so you can get some more premium, more expensive, better tools from Ryobi, but I was more intrigued to get some of the cheaper tools and see how they go for such a cheap price tag. I was more impressed with these tools than I was expecting. Obviously over a week, they're going to be fine, they're going to get the task done, and we're not really telling if they're actually durable and if they're going to break or not. These tools are advertised to be used as a DIY tool, so if you were using them every day on the work site, they definitely will break. They definitely don't have as much power as any other tool we've got in front of me here, but they did do the job for $699. And we're going from such a cheap combo kit to the most expensive combo kit that I have in this room here. And this is what's left of the combo kit that I got for $6,500. It was a 20-piece combo kit when I bought it, and it had a few other tools like a planer, we had a framer, a fixing gun, obviously we had a big 54-volt saw. The framer broke and the planer broke, but I'm pretty sure for the rest of the tools, I've either given them away to some co-workers or just lent them out to a few mates to borrow. So there's actually a bit of a rough story behind me buying this combo kit. I was a third-year apprentice, and At this point in time, I was working every single weekend. I was staying back doing overtime. The third year apprentice wage isn't too great, and I was doing everything I could to try save up for a house. I think I had about 7 or 8 grand in the bank account, and then someone came through, broke into my toolbox and stole most of my tools. I had to go out the next day and I spent $6,500 buying this combo kit, which is quite depressing. That was all my savings gone. I just kept thinking about all the hours I worked, all the weekends I worked, and I was quite flat at that point in time. And it was such a bad time in the moment, but what I ended up doing was filming a video unboxing that $6,500 combo kit, and that video was one of the first videos on my channel to actually blow up and take my channel to the next level. So in the moment, it was quite a dark time, but looking back on it now, if that person didn't come through and steal my tools, there's a chance that all of this may not have happened. I've been so lucky in the last few years. I've had some great deals. I've got to test out some really cool tools, and all of that may not have happened if that person didn't steal my tools. And the last combo kit we have here is a 10-piece Bosch combo kit. This kit did cost $19.99, and I got it sent out to me from Bosch a few weeks ago, and I was just filming a few ads for them for the tax time deals. So far, the total price is at $22,000, which is mind-blowing. I actually wasn't expecting it to be anywhere near this at this point in time, but when I do stop and start thinking about all the combo kits here, it does make a lot of sense. So for my estimate to remain true, it means that everything behind me has to total $10,000, including all of these laser levels, 2 miter saws, we've got 17 nail guns, and I can tell you that it's looking like this is going to be worth over $40,000. All right, so onto the nail guns, and the total value of these tools is about to skyrocket. It's actually kind of insane seeing all the guns just laying down in the same place here. I knew I had a fair few, but I never stopped to count them out, and seeing 17 guns is just insane. We'll start with the first one here though. For starters, this is a Paslode PPN. This thing has been awesome. I actually haven't used it too much, and you can probably tell that with how clean it is looking. When I first bought this gun, I bought it myself with a box of nails, which came with the gas, and the gas for this gun is separate to any of the other gases for the Coilmaster or the Paslode framer. So once I went through and used that gas up, I didn't buy any more gas, which is a bit unfortunate because it is a great gun and I do want to get some more use out of it. And to be honest, I actually forgot how much this gun costs. This costs $1,287. So to have a tool that's worth that much and not use it is just a bit of a crime. I definitely have to put this back in the toolbox, and I do have to go out and buy some more gas so that I can keep using it. I'm going to jump across here, and this is my Paslode Coilmaster. I got this one at the same time as the PPN, and I got them from Toolkit Depot when I was doing an ad for them. And unlike the PPN, the Coilmaster stayed in my car, and I've actually got a fair bit of use out of it. I haven't used it yet this year because it had a really bad jam and I had to take it to a tool shop to get fixed. But this gun costs $1,248. And we've got another orange gun in here, which I'm gonna fish out. And this is a Paslode framing gun. And you can have a quick look at this gun and see it is worn out. I have used this a fair bit. I think this is my 3rd framer that I have bought. The first one got stolen. I had another one which ended up breaking down on me, and this one's still in good condition and I still use it, especially when I'm on the roof. I haven't used it as much recently because I do have Hikoki's new framing gun, which is tacked away over there. That thing is a beast of a gun, so I'm using the Hikoki as my daily framer, but I will admit though, if I'm on a roof or doing anything a bit sketchy, I definitely do prefer having this Paslode framer on me. And this gun at the moment costs $1,199. And the last Paslode gun I do have is my pneumatic fixer. This thing is a lot cheaper. It's only $309, and because it isn't a battery gun, it is super light, and when you do have it plugged up to the air hose, it is also really powerful and quick to shoot. So when you're doing a fix and you're trying to be quick, this is a gun I'm going to get out. So at the back here, I do have my only remaining DeWalt gun. And this thing is kind of new. I bought it at the end of last year, I believe. I say it's my last gun that I still have. I've recently gave away my DeWalt fixer to one of my co-workers, and my DeWalt framer broke a long time ago. So I used to be quite heavy on the DeWalt guns, and actually I had a pneumatic DeWalt framer as well. It was one of the only pneumatic DeWalt framers I've ever seen. But before I bought this gun, I did have those 3 DeWalt guns that I was running almost daily, and now they're completely gone, and this is the last thing I have left. So this one does cost $569, and I do remember buying it for one little job I had to do, and it hurt to pay for this one. It's good to have now, but when you've got to spend so much money for a tool just to do one tiny little job, the price does become quite a bit. All right, so next up we've got some AEG guns. Everything's kind of falling over, but I'm just going to grab this fixer and this framer from over here. So these 2 guns come in a combo kit. which costs $999. I haven't actually used the fixer too much. I think I've only done 1 or 2 jobs using this. I do like the fixer. I don't have enough experience with it though to really comment on it, but I have used the framer for a fair bit of time. And when it came out at the start of last year, my mind was blown away with it. This is my daily framer that I used for quite a while, and it was one of the best framers on the market until Hikoki did stand up and release a 2nd gen framer, which we will get to in a second. So I do have this combo kit, and that cost $999. And then tacked away at the back here, we've also got the exact same guns in the limited edition colors, the all black colors. So they also cost $999, and they're the exact same guns, do the exact same thing as those 2 over there. I just had to go through and find some old receipts for, not that one, I'll put that one to the side, but for this 1st generation Hikoki framer. So I brought this framer and the fixing gun in a combo kit together, which cost $1,099. And I did a review on this framer about 18 months ago now. It's a pretty cool tool, but it had a few issues, especially with the nose trying to get in and skew nails. So I used this one for a little bit and then I put it to rest. The fixer itself though is an awesome tool, but obviously both of these guns have been retired and Hikoki have came out with the 2nd generation guns. So I jump in here, I've got Hikoki's brand new framer as well. It actually needs a clean, which I should probably do ASAP, but I was using this gun recently when I was building those stairs. It got quite rainy and muddy there, and I actually forgot to clean the gun up before putting it back into my car. And as I mentioned earlier, this is my daily framing gun. Out of every gun we see here, I definitely use this one the most, and you can tell that with how worn out it already looks after, I think, only 5 or 6 months of using it. And I've got 2 finished nailers, a 15 and 16 gauge finished nailer as well. And these are also both of Hikoki's 2nd gen guns. In terms of pricing, I can get the framer and the 15 gauge finished nailer for $14.99. And with that, our total of the tools so far has already gone over $30,000. And we haven't reached any of the big boxes or laser levels or anything sitting behind me. This has blown my mind. There's definitely way more value in this room than I first thought. And once you do actually stop and start thinking about it, it definitely makes a lot of sense. And then of course, we've also got that 16 gauge nailer, and you can get this one for $5.99. And this is the last Hikoki gun I've got. It's the one I pulled out earlier, mistaking it for the old version of the framing gun. It's actually a very similar design, similar body, but this is Hikoki's metal connector, the PPN, which is the same as this Paslode one, which I haven't used as much anymore. So Hikoki's PPN costs $729, so it's about $500 cheaper than Paslode's one. It definitely is heavier. The Paslode one is definitely a lot better than Hikoki's, but with Hikoki's one, it is completely battery powered, so I'm not wasting money going out and buying gas. This is half of the reason why I have retired Paslode's one. As much as I like it, it's just more convenient to use this gun and save so much more money on going out and buying gas. And actually right at the front here, I've almost skipped over it, but this is my Boss Stitch coil gun. Only $310. Once again, it is a pneumatic gun, so they are a lot cheaper, and it's also a beast to use. This is another gun that I've always got out on me, especially doing framing or weatherboarding. I'm going to be using this one a lot. This one also was broken for a bit. I just got it back after a service. Actually, I think this one's been broken for over a year. Everyone I work with always has a coil gun like this though. So it's been very common just to borrow other people's coil guns, and I got away with not having my one for about a year. So I'm happy it's back now, and now I can start putting it to use again. And the last gun we've got here, tucked away in the back. I'll just be careful trying to pull this out. This is Ryobi's framing gun, which costs $599. For a DIY tool, that price is insane. I've actually heard from Ryobi themselves that they don't sell too many of these guns. I'm guessing the reason behind that is if you're a DIYer and you only need to do a few nails, you're not going to spend the money. You're not going to spend $600 just for a few nails. But on the other side, if you're going to be doing a big renovation and you're going to do a lot of framing, you're not going to spend $600 for a DIY tool. That's when you might invest a little bit more and get one of these other guns that have bump fire and they're actually warranted and made to be used on a work site. We've already flown over that estimate I had of $32,000 worth of tools in this room. And honestly, as soon as I said that number, I did know it was going to be on the low side. We've got some big cost items behind me now. We're going to start getting onto the big stuff, and this price tag is going to fly up real quick. I just said we're going to do some of the bigger item things. We're actually going to do the opposite though. I forgot I had a couple Azito tools over here. We firstly got the belt sander, and I've also got a mixer over here as well. So the mixer was $99, the belt sander was $119. And these are both corded tools, and they're actually great tools as well. I've never used Zito battery tools, which is in the box behind me, so that's going to be an experience seeing how they are. But in my life, I've actually gone through and used a fair few different Zito corded tools. In the early days, I was using one of their corded hammer drills, and for a tool like that, it's so cheap. Most of the time, it's pretty good, but if it does break down, it's at a price where you can actually afford to buy another one and replace it. For tools like the belt sander and the mixer, I'm not using them often, and they do exactly what I need them to do. If it was a tool I'm using every single day, that's when I might spend a bit more money and get a better quality one. But there are a couple of Zito tools that I have used and had really good experiences with. And next to it here as well, if you can see behind me, I might have to move out of the way, but I've got my AEG compressor here as well. This is a new one. I bought this one maybe a month ago. It was $449. It does the trick, everything I need it for. And honestly, the only tools I really use with the compressor these days is either the coil gun or the finish nailer. And I'm just going to be running one hose. I'm going to be using the compressor for myself, and that thing has been perfect for what I need it for. It's getting pretty tight in here now with all the tools, but we'll make our way across to the miter saws. I've only got 2 miter saws left at the moment. I used to be running a battery DeWalt one. I've moved that one on though, and the one I'm actually using day to day and keeping in my car is this AEG miter saw. So this miter saw has a 185mm blade, and it's a really good small lightweight design, so it's super easy to put it in my car and then just carry it around the work site to where I need to use it, opposed to the big 305mm 40V Makita miter saw, which I used to use. It's a great saw, it's a beast of a thing, but when you look at the size differences, you can imagine how hard it is to carry this around site, and it turns out to be a full workout. I still have the 40V saw though, because there are a few jobs where you need that big, powerful saw to get through stuff. The AEG one is just super handy, but if I was doing a deck or using the saw all day, I'll definitely get this one back out, and it's got the power just to keep on going. So I got this one in the combo kit with a couple 40V batteries that we saw, and this one's worth $15.49. There's a bit of a heavy price tag on it. The story behind buying this miter saw is I was actually using the DeWalt's 54V one, and that one broke down on me, and I was in the middle of a job. I needed a miter saw, so I ran out and spent the money buying this one. And that was actually a good idea because it took over a year to get my DeWalt saw back, so that when I got it back, I already had this saw that I was using, so I didn't need that DeWalt saw anyway. Alright, so next up, we've got 4 different track saws sitting in this corner. So the first one over here is we do have a Makita corded one, and this is the only corded one I've got, which I was using in early days. And hang on, I didn't actually realize there was a battery sitting in there. There we go, there's another AEG battery I have. This is actually the new tabless battery, which we didn't add to those battery calculations at the start of the video. I'm just gonna chuck that one down there. Even though this thing is corded, it does cost $1,029 for this track saw, which also came with the track. Not sure where that one is right now though. I've got the other tracks here, but I don't know where the Makita track has gone to. And next to it is the only Festool tool that I do own. And I still remember going out and buying this track saw. I was probably the most excited I've ever been to buy a new tool until I really saw how much it was going to cost. I did pay $1,260 for this saw. It is quite pricey. It does come with the 2 batteries though, we did see at the start. But I had to buy the saw when I was doing a really cool job as an apprentice. We're working on a brick house, and what we're doing was putting weatherboards over the brick. And for that to happen, we had to go through and extend all of the window reveals out of LRSP. So we're doing some really neat cuts with some bevels on it to make sure everything matched up. And I went out and got the saw for that job, and it was an awesome tool. I've used this one a lot, and it pretty much has been my day-to-day go-to track saw until I've recently got this awesome Milwaukee one. So this Milwaukee track saw came in a combo kit, which costs $1,514. I got this one sent to me at the start of the year. I did an ad for them, and this is an awesome tool. It still looks pretty, yeah, it does look really clean to be honest. I haven't used it too much. I think I've cut off one deck with it and trimmed down a couple doors, and that's about it. But even from those few uses, I'm a huge fan of the saw, and I do think I actually prefer using the Milwaukee one over my Festool one. Some of that could be coming down to using a brand new tool opposed to one that I've had for maybe 5 or so years now, but I'm a big fan of both of these saws anyway. So all these saws we see here so far, they've came in combo kits that include the tracks. At the back, here we go. This is AEG's track saw. So this one costs $699 by itself, and then you can buy the tracks separately for $149. And this is a really good track saw, but it's just not as good as the Milwaukee one and the Festa one, which you kind of would hope for when these ones cost almost double the price as the AEG one. The way I'm running my truck saws at the moment is I'm keeping the Milwaukee and AEG one in my car. If I'm doing some really neat, delicate work, I'll use the Milwaukee one. I want to keep that one clean, keep the blade sharp, and the AEG is the saw I'm going to use if it's going to be through rougher material. I've done a few composite decks recently and we've had to use the track saw to cut them. So I'll put the AEG track saw into the composite deck. It's going to chew up and kill the blade, but at least that way I'm keeping my Milwaukee saw to be brand new and ready to go. And with these track saws, we've just gone over $40,000 worth of tools in this room. But one thing I just realized is I said this is the only Festool tool that I own, and that's not true. I've also got a Festool vacuum and I completely forgot to bring it today for this video. The majority of the tools that you see here, I have to keep in a storage facility. So it was a nightmare to bring everything here just to film for the one day. But I did forget to bring that vacuum across. I don't think it crossed my mind that it's technically a tool. Some people might not call it a tool, but I definitely would have added it to the value of all the tools that I do own for carpentry. Alright, it feels good to stand up now and stretch the legs. I was crouched down for so long, going over all these tools on the ground. Now we're going to jump into some of these tools behind me. Actually in this corner, I did bring in a few of my ladders. And to start with, I was bringing in a few ladders. I've got a level and a strategy over there. And I started bringing in those tools as well. And I obviously called that quits. From everything you can see here, we can see I don't have a collection of levels. I don't have my clamps and all the other bits and pieces and hand tools that I use for carpentry. I started bringing them in, but then I just did not have enough room in this room to store everything. When we start looking at all the hand tools, bits and pieces that I own, there's just so many. So we're pretty much just sticking to mostly power tools that we can see here. There's a few exceptions with the ladders that I bought in, but it pretty much is only power tools in this room. I'm even thinking about the hammers I own, with the Boss hammer being $400. I've got a stiletto, which is $350. The tool belt I've got is probably worth $300 or $400. So when we start looking at the hand tools, it's going to add quite a few $1,000s onto the tally of this. But for this video, we're just going to be focusing on the tools, the big picture tools that we can see in this room right now. Firstly, we've got the big 6-footer in the back there. That's just a typical A-frame ladder that can get opened up to an extension ladder. That thing costs $199. And I've always said this, ladders are one of those things you need to have, but it's so depressing spending hundreds of dollars just for a ladder. Like if you're spending hundreds of dollars for a power tool, you can at least get excited for it. It's going to be a tool that serves purpose, but buying a ladder just to climb up and down is one of the worst purchases you have to make as a tradie. And then leading up next to it, I've got a multi-purpose aluminium ladder. And these are one of those ones that you can change the height and you can change the configuration of the ladder. It becomes really handy to use, especially on hills or uneven surfaces. That one did cost me $299. The best thing about this one though, is I don't know if I can actually get in and reach it. I can't comfortably get in there, but I can actually pull the pegs out and decrease the size of that by half. So I don't actually have to worry about tying it on my roof, but I can just throw it in the back of my ute. It sits in there securely and it saves so much time every morning and night, not having to get ratchet straps out and tie down my ladder. Alright, so next up we've got all these boxes of these Stabila laser levels behind me. And there's some insane laser levels behind me, especially this LAR 350 and the LA 180L. I've had a few sample runs with them and the stuff they can do has blown my mind. So after this video, I'm going to be working on a massive Stabila laser level review. I've been trying a few of these out on different job sites at the moment, but I've just gone through and looked at all the prices for these laser levels and the prices behind them are insane. So I've just gone through and worked out all the prices for every single laser level here, and the total price of these tools is about to skyrocket up. There's some insanely good bits of kit here, and with that comes a decent price tag. So first up, we do have an optical level. This one costs $499, and that's going to be the cheapest laser we're looking at from a long shot. Next to it, we have the LAR 350. That's one of the lasers that I'm most excited to get into. That one comes with a price tag of $2,295. On top of it is a green line laser level, the LAX 600G. That one costs $849. And then we've got the 500G above it, which is a lot cheaper at $685. Next to it here is the LA 180L, and that laser does some things that I did not know any lasers could actually do. I've had a Stabila rep come to site and show me a few features of these laser levels. That one's blown my mind, and you would think so as well with the price tag of $2,299. On the left there, the last one we've got is just a rotation laser, and that comes in with a price tag of $1,099. And to top it all up, we've also got a tripod here, which is worth $159. So that brings the total to $48,000 right now. We're definitely going to surpass that $50,000 milestone. And I had a feeling in the back of my head we might actually reach that price tag. It just felt too outrageous to say out loud that we've got $50,000 worth of tools in this room right here. So at the back here, we've got a few Hikoki and AEG storage boxes. These have been huge in actually helping move these combo kits around. For the 3-piece Hikoki boxes though, which come with a trolley on the back, they cost $675. And for the AEG ones, I've got an assortment of different boxes here. And I'm pretty sure if I was to buy everything by itself, we're looking around $400 for those. I'm not completely sure. I had a quick guess at what boxes we got here, but these are worth around that $400 price tag. So tucked away in this corner, we've got another rotation laser here. This is one I've used for a little bit before I got these Stabila lasers, but this is my Bosch rotation laser. That thing costs $949, and I've also got a tripod over here, which I use with that laser, and the tripod costs $150 for itself. And talking about Bosch, I've also got myself a digital distance measurer. This one costs $170, and I'm actually not too sure if this one still works. When I bought it, I was doing a few reviews and I was testing it pretty hard, and I was testing it for fall damage and also water durability. I might need to double check because I don't know if I've killed the batteries or actually killed the tool itself. I've also got myself a cheaper one though from DeWalt. Doesn't do as much as a Bosch one does, but this one costs $99. And ending up over here, which I probably can't get out, is my Stabila 2-meter level. That thing costs $254, and I've got a straight edge next to it, which cost me around $75. I'm actually in two minds if I do want to add those to the tally, because I did put them up here against the wall when I was setting up all these tools, but then I changed my mind and I stopped adding all my spirit levels and hand tools. If I started adding all those tools, as I said before, this video will just be ridiculous. It'll go for double the amount of time. We'll be counting all the chisels I've got, the hand tools I've got, and the video is just going to be insanely long to watch. I've also got a couple boxes here of 2 AEG tools I haven't opened yet, and these are actually pushed at the back of my storage facility. I didn't know where they were, but I've got some secateurs at the bottom here. I think these cost $399. And I've also got myself a rivet gun, which costs $379. I'm stoked that I found these, especially the rivet gun. I want to add that one to my toolbox because that's going to be such a useful and fun tool to be using. I think that actually covers everything in this room. I don't think I've missed a single tool, and the total comes up to $51,724, which is insane. And I reckon if I did go through and get all my hand tools and bits and pieces out, there's going to be an easy few $1,000s there, and we could probably get the total to $55,000 or $56,000 worth of tools, which, yeah, it's kind of depressing to think about. And I do want to say I am so appreciative of everyone that watches these videos. Because of you watching the video, it does give me the opportunities to do cool stuff and test out and buy these tools to review. I have been very fortunate and had brands send me a lot of tools as well to review and test out. And thanks for watching this video, because all the views towards this video is going towards future funding and buying some more tools that I want to buy in the future. I've got some really cool videos I'm working on at the moment with these tools you see behind me, but I've got some even cooler videos I want to do towards the end of the year. Obviously, buying and testing tools does cost a lot of money, so I'm super appreciative of you guys taking the time and watching these videos, and I hope you enjoy seeing all these tools just as much as I do.